Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Bhajadana Randana Yashodanandana Bhajadana Randana Jamuna Tira Vanantari Jamuna Tira Vanantari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Bhajadana Randana Yashodanandana Bhajadana Randana Jamuna Tira Vanantari Jamuna Tira Vanantari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jayam Vishupad Paramahamsa Pri Vrajgasarja Stotra Sakta Sri Simad His Divine Grace Surabhyai Namah Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Kandiviti Founderacharya Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Srila Hridayas Thakur Ki Samavata Bhakti Vrinda Ki Harinam Sankirtan Ki Grantaraj Bhagavatam Ki Jainitai Gaur of Himanam all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga, all glories to Sri Prabhupada Ki. Om Agyanat Mirandasya Gyananjana Sarakaya Tathuraparitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pasyacha Desatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Surabhyai Namah. On the board. Om Surabhyai Namah. Om Surabhyai Namah. Om Surabhyai Namah. Om Surabhyai Namah. Mukham karoti vasaram pangom langayate girim yatripat mahabande Sri Gurum Dinatharanam Yatkripat Mahabande Sri Gurum Dinatharanam Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Sri Prabhupada ki. And I know this is a weekday, so special congratulations to all of you being here on a weekday, and especially because I was in South Malaysia actually when there was all kinds of festivals taking place here. My schedule somehow was not adjusting, and but it means that you've had all kinds of festivals and events in the last so many days. I'm at the tail end. Actually, this is my last evening or last day, last program in Malaysia. I've been in Malaysia for about well, at least 10 days or more, but mostly in other places. Yeah, South, yeah. First time I spent so much time in South, it was nice. I had gone there, God, many, many years ago. It was nice to see some of the centers, some new places, and some of the devotees, some of whom I had not seen for a long time. So I've been carrying with me a particular theme that I endeavor to share with devotees. And this theme, I think, is not new to probably many of you, because generally, although I don't come so often to Malaysia, it has been a particular topic which I feel is extremely vital, essential, and in many ways absolutely necessary for us as devotees. Although it's not so easy, I've had a more recent realization. We all have realizations. We're supposed to have realizations at different times. So I've had a recent realization in the last few years. It's only in the last, maybe last Couple of years, yeah. You know, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks about what we know is very confidential knowledge, isn't it? Raja Vidya, Raja Guyam, Pavitram Idam Uttamam, most confidential, highest knowledge. And he explains to Arjuna, Bhakto Sime Sakhati Rahasyam Hitad Uttamam. This knowledge, it is very mysterious, very confidential, not so easy to understand. So naturally, we generally take that particular instruction given by Krishna, meaning, you know, spiritual knowledge is confidential, which it is, of course. Spiritual knowledge is confidential because it's very deep, very profound, and one needs to be qualified, isn't it, to appreciate, to understand, to realize transcendental subject matters. Now, the realization I've been getting more recently is that there's some material knowledge, some material information that Krishna reveals also in the Shastra. Even though it is material, one would think it's material, was, you know, it's easy enough to understand, easy enough to relate to. But I'm finding personally, and I'm experiencing this as I interact with devotees, that this is another level of, I would say, confidential knowledge as well. Why? Because it has to do with dharma. Dharma is meant to be the topic for all of us that we need to assimilate, that we need to deepen our understanding of. I mean, dharma is what Krishna gives, isn't it? Is what Krishna reveals when he comes in the material world. Dharma samsta pararthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Whenever he appears in different incarnations. And we all know also how Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan are actually the most confidential. Isn't it? Because they reveal the highest level of transcendence. And what is amazing also is that simultaneously, and it evades most of us. Not only are Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan the most attractive because of their spiritual dimension, and because Krishna brings us, reveals to us the highest level of spiritual bliss, his loving exchanges with the gopis of Vrindavan. But also, Krishna's seemingly innocent pastimes or activities, and the activities of the Brajavasis, which seems to be just like, oh my God, it's a village. They're just village people. But their activities in Vrindavan actually reveal, they are the example, just like Krishna's spiritual exchanges, where all of the different rasas are experienced with all different types of devotees in Vrindavan. Krishna's daily activities, and all of the residents of Vrindavan for that matter, all of their daily activities reveal this other dimension of confidential knowledge. On, of course, Krishna's activities, they are divyam, transcendental, janma karma sami divyam, but externally they are material. Going out looking after the cows is a material activity for us, but for Krishna, of course, it's a spiritual activity. So here's one of a number of points that I would like to kind of underline. We have been caught up in the last approximately 2 centuries. 2 centuries is a long time. We can be born a few times. Maybe many times, depending what kind of birth we take. But it's important to study history. It's important to know that major events took place 200 years ago that have shaped and continue to shape the present trend in modern day society. And what is that modern trend? Which is actually, unfortunately, for all of us, and those of us who are able to look at it from, I would say, from a Vedic perspective, I can see that the modern trend is leading us away, further and further away from what is meant to be the norm in society. I'll show you what the norm is. This is the norm. Although the photo has been taken from Cambodia, if you ever visit Cambodia, at least I took this maybe 15 years ago, it's basically depicting, a village life, isn't it? There's, on the top of the mountain, there's a temple, and these are the daily activities of the residents of, I don't know what village it is, but similar to what we can expect in Vrindavan. The point I'm making is that this is the norm of how Krishna created this material world so that we are meant to live closely connected with what grandfather Bhishmadev describes as the natural gifts of nature. The natural gifts of nature are 3 in number, and when we live closely connected with these gifts of nature, when we nourish ourselves, because actually these 3 gifts of nature are mothers, when we learn to nourish ourselves by these 3 God-given gifts of nature, then we naturally, automatically, and more quickly develop our spiritual consciousness. We become spiritually evolved. We become materially happy. We become materially healthy. And we become also materially wealthy. Not bad. Healthy, wealthy, happy is what actually the Vedic culture, when we understand and follow what Krishna has given to humanity, and when we actually, for whatever different reasons, fail to do that, then the opposite is there. We become unhappy, we become poor, and unhealthy, which is the modern day situation. I'm actually preparing, and I want to share a little bit of that with you. I'm working on a new presentation, which will be a presentation I'll be giving in a few days at a historical event. I suppose every day is a historical event for all of us. But this is a special historical event that will be taking place on the 31st of this month, which means this coming Saturday, the last Saturday of the month, which happens to be Lord Nityananda Prabhu's appearance, special day. And what will be extra special about this day is that devotees in one European country, I'll tell you which one, will be officially opening,
1 year ago, 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 1 year
They've been preparing and working on this for months. They've been discussing with their local authorities within the country, who are all approving and supporting. They will be officially inaugurating their full-fledged Varnashram college in Ukraine. In Ukraine. Yeah, right. I mean, if it can happen there, it can happen anywhere, right? And I mean, I've been visiting a few times. I mean, it's not because I've been visiting, but there's devotees who, since many years, even before I started to visit, were having some realizations. And a group of devotees have been working on different aspects, because it's going to be like a 5-day seminar. And I just wanted to share with you the bullet points, as they say. Because I've not fully prepared, I've not fully prepared the seminar, but I was very amazed, very surprised, pleasantly surprised, as they say, at how nicely the devotees who put this together, basically the themes that they have presented, are really touching on what I hope important points that you will be able to appreciate as well. So, this actually is another presentation that I gave yesterday and that I've been giving for the last 1 week or so. So I'm going to jump right away to, Daiva Varnashrama Dharma seminar that's coming up, right? You're all fortunate you're getting a preview before they're before they're getting it. Don't tell them, right? Good luck, right? So, because, we're all so busy in so many things. We get so many emails, we get so many, and sometimes we just skim over messages or whatever. And it's only like a few days ago that I took the time to kind of like go deeply into what they were presenting. So here we go. Again, this is like just skimming the surface, so to speak. But basically, they are naming, they've got a name. They chose their own name for their college. They're calling it Ahimsa College. Touche, huh? Ahimsa College. So this is the theme. It's in one line actually, but I separated it. Daiva Varnashrama Dharma, the foundation of spiritual and material civilization. This is important. We're not just promoting and arranging spiritual things. We're also having, our Vedic literatures have information about so many different material things, material subjects that are important for society. Caring for devotees, Srila Prabhupada's legacy and the future of humanity. I mean, Srila Prabhupada and all of our previous acharyas and all of us who are meant to follow in their footsteps, this is what we should have in mind. What is the present situation and condition of humanity today? And depending on what we do today will affect how things will be in the future, isn't it? Both in the short-term and long-term future. Let me see here. Yeah. Now that's better. There are 5 key areas that I'll bring up one by one. And for each of these 5 key areas, there are 3 subdivisions. And we'll go through all of this. And I think you will get the gist, because it's quite obvious. Should be. What are the 5 key areas? Number 1, a deep understanding of Varnashrama in light of Srila Prabhupada's teachings. Means it is essential for all of us, because dharma means dharma in terms of spiritual swadharma as well as material swadharma. Both are part of eternal dharma that we call Sanatana Dharma. Okay, that's number one. Secondly, cow protection and devotee care as the foundation of a healthy Vaishnava society. We cannot leave out either of them. And actually they come in this order. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana. Go, cows, Brahmana. Brahmana means those who are developing. Brahmanical culture means devotees. Devotees are all developing Brahmanical qualities. The third is Srila Prabhupada's prophetic vision of the collapse of modern civilization. I'm sure some of you have heard some statements by Srila Prabhupada. They are there both in the Bhagavatam purports as well as conversations and letters. Prabhupada spoke about this 50 plus years ago. Number 4, creating an alternative civilization. This is meant to be ISKCON's mission for the next 50 years. Thank you. And 5, what are the practical steps for every devotee to go to understand this and to act on the knowledge that we gain when we take the necessary time to actually deeply study the subject matter. So this is a work in progress, as they say. So I'll be filling up. No, I'll just share. Yeah, I'll just share. As I mentioned, under each of these 5, there are 3. Under understanding Varnashrama, what is Daiva Varnashrama and how it differs from material mundane Varnashrama. That's a whole topic in itself. That is generally referred to as Asurik Varnashrama. There's Asurik Varnashrama and Daiva Varnashrama. We're not promoting, obviously, Asurik Varnashrama, but we are promoting Daiva Varnashrama. Secondly, why should Prabhupada emphasize the urgent need to establish Varnashrama Dharma within our ISKCON society? Within our society as well as outside the society. And number 3, bringing out so many different quotes and letters where Srila Prabhupada clearly outlines this mission. So I have between now and the next few days to pull out. There are so many references are there actually. The second main theme, cow protection and devotee care. First subdivision, how Varnashrama provides structured support for all ashramas, brahmacharis, grihasthas, vanaprasthas, and sannyasis. Secondly, the importance of protecting what is described in the Bhagavatam as 5 defenseless living entities. And I put them in order of importance. Not my choosing, but according to a number of purports. They vary actually in the Bhagavatam, but one can figure out that this is how it is meant. Number 1, cows. 2, brahmanas. Again, go brahmana. Women, children, and the elders. And we know that because we are not following dharma in modern day society, means general society, and to some extent we as devotees also, some aspects of material swadharma we are missing. Therefore, cows are not properly protected. Sometimes elders, women, I mean all of them. And the third aspect, what is meant to be the role of temples, farm communities, and spiritual leaders in providing care and shelter for cows and for devotees. So quite a bit of subject matter will be covered, and of course these will be filled in. The third theme, collapse of modern civilization, which is, as we speak or as we sit here, is ongoing. Srila Prabhupada warned against dependence on non-renewable resources, modern technology, unsustainable urbanization, and artificial lifestyle. I suppose we could add AI and many other things also. What are, so many different lectures and letters where Srila Prabhupada predicted food shortages, economic collapse, and environmental destruction, which is ongoing. Has been ongoing for many decades. And therefore, the urgent need for simple living and high thinking, isn't it? So these will be supported in these, So then, alternative, what is the, Prabhupada speaks about misdirected civilization. Prabhupada speaks about modern day society being a doomed civilization. Modern day society as being a soul-killing civilization. So, what are we supposed to replace it with? That's the natural question. Well, we should know what Srila Prabhupada is telling, what he's advising, and what Shastra is also advising. And it can be nicely understood in the following three. I rearranged this a little bit. Number one is through Vedic education. And Vedic education has to be understood on these two levels. One being that education for a very small percentage of the population is academic in nature. That means for Gurukul. But that for the vast majority of people, education is more in terms of learning some skill, apprenticeship. Which is what is taking place today, but unfortunately the subject matters are not the ones that should be taken up. So, in other words, to bring about changes within our own lives for ourselves and to carry these changes within society, education. Prabhupada actually, in his 7 purposes of ISKCON, right? He writes, the first one, to systematically teach the science, Vedic science, Vedic culture, through especially Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. So teaching, training. ISKCON as a society meant to be simultaneously an educational institution, as well as a cultural institution, as well as a social institution, meant to bring about social changes within society. Secondly, Vedic governance. Vedic governance through a Varnashram-based society, a working model of sustainable God-centered living. I'll give you a quote or a reference. You can look it up either now or later. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 1, Chapter 9, Text 26. 1:926, which is the chapter where Grandfather Bhishma Dev is lying on his bed of arrows, about to leave his body. And what is the very, very first instruction that he gives to Yudhishthira Maharaj? Is directly connected actually with Vedic governance, because Yudhishthira Maharaj, now that the battle of Kurukshetra is over, he is now the new emperor of the world. And what's the first directive or instruction that he receives from Grandfather Bhishma Dev? So in that text, he tells him, you should make sure that your praja, your dependents, will work within the system of Varna and Ashram. Now that in itself is, I would say, quite significant. And what is, I consider, even more significant, if you read the first purport, or the first line rather, the first line of that purport, and I'll paraphrase, Prabhupada is telling, following this system of Varna and Ashrama as created by Krishna, chapter 4, text 13 in the Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvarnamaya Sistam, when we follow that system created by Krishna, it will help to accelerate the development of spiritual qualities. Means it will help accelerate our becoming Krishna conscious. Who doesn't want to accelerate becoming Krishna conscious, isn't it? So, in other words, society is meant to be governed based on what is called the Vedic sciences that are referred to as Chaturvidya. Actually, this is part of Chaturvidya. 4 Vedic sciences. This is Vedic education, which is called Trayi, is one of them. Okay, I put it there already. Yeah, then Dandaniti. And the third component here is what is called Vedic economy. And naturally, Vedic economy should be of interest, especially to those who are householders. True or not true? Householders? Economy. Money. Where's money? Of course, in the Vedic culture, we're not, we have a different, a more, I would say, wholesome approach and deeper and more complete understanding of what is actually economy. So Vedic economy, through natural agriculture and cow protection. It's like, you know, we read the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is what we call a perennial teaching. The 3 modes of material nature will always be part of the Bhagavad Gita, because that's one of the 5 tattvas, Prakriti, isn't it? So the 5 tattvas that are presented in the Bhagavad Gita, they are eternal tattvas. What Krishna teaches, either in the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, and for that matter in all the Vedic literatures, they are standard concepts and principles. That's why we refer to Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam as standard books of knowledge. You'll be happy to know actually that a few months ago, I was still in India at that time, one of the chief ministers, this had happened before actually, but this quite recent, I forget, I think maybe one of the provinces north, in the northern part of India, he officially announced in Parliament, I guess, that beginning, that was maybe a month or 2 months ago, that beginning January or February 2026, all the schools and colleges in his state would have to study Bhagavad Gita. You know, there are some states in India, for example, where it is totally prohibited to slaughter cows. Cows are totally protected. So these are signs of what can actually happen, what is happening on a small scale. And a lot more can happen if more of us hear actually these instructions given by our founder Acharya to actually bring forth, this is what the whole mission of our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is all about, to bring forth a new era, isn't it, of Satya Yuga. Satya Yuga is where people know about and follow the principles of Dharma. And these principles of Dharma, as I tried to cover a little bit, are existing both on the spiritual and material level. Okay, just winding up here. Yeah, basically it's the same thing. To bring this alternative civilization, and yeah, there's a fifth one, we'll come to that in a few minutes. To bring about this alternative civilization, these, in other words, these are the components needed. So the longer we neglect, the longer we brush aside, or the longer we don't take the time to understand these basic principles, we are going to miss out. Of course, like Krishna told Arjuna, whether you fight or not, they're gone. They're all dead, you know. So why don't you just, you know, take up your duty as a Kshatriya and take the credit. So in a similar way, the changes that are meant to take place, this new era, golden era, Lord Chaitanya is, as the golden avatar, is bringing this golden age, which started actually 500 years ago, and we are getting different glimpses of it amidst the whole chaotic scene that is ongoing simultaneously, inconceivably, in front of our eyes every day. But this is the opportunity that Srila Prabhupada and our previous acharyas are giving to all of us to be part of this ongoing major changes that are meant to take place in society. Okay, and then the last is practical steps. And of course, probably this is the one most devotees would like to have more details about. And between now and the presentation, we'll have many of these spelled out. They're scattered here and there. But basically, yeah, we need to know where to start. Where do we begin? How to implement Varnashram in our personal lives as well as in our families and communities, nations and countries, wherever we are. And basically, what role can we play individually to help fulfill Srila Prabhupada's mission? There are many small things that we can do, and the more we take up these baby steps, as they say, then Krishna will, being seated within our hearts, he will reveal to us other things that we could be doing. You know, we're all very, we're all very individuals. What can we know? There's so many things taking place every day, every single moment actually. We're only aware of, which is natural, we're only aware of a few things that are taking place. But there are many changes that are ongoing, and it's important for all of us at least to make an attempt to endeavor to connect and to interact with devotees who are involved in bringing about these changes, which need to be taken up on these two levels, as I mentioned briefly, on the level of spiritual activities, spiritual swadharma, as well as material swadharma. So this is just kind of a very brief, let's say, expose of discussions, more in-depth discussions. We'll be recording these seminars actually that will take place after the opening of the Varnashram College. We are meant, Prabhupada wanted the standing order that in every one of our colleges, or rather in every one of our temples, that we have the Varnashram colleges. We have systematic, we're doing some of this, especially in terms of Bhakti Shastri, for example, and Bhakti Vedanta, Bhakti Vaibhav, etc. But in terms of the whole, let's say, Varnashrama concept as desired by Srila Prabhupada, who spoke about the need to introduce Brahmana culture, Kshatriya culture, Vaishya culture, as they are described actually in the Shastra. So I will stop here actually, and in closing, two small things. Where is it? I think, yeah, here it is. This is one of the, where to begin. I'll answer this question, where to begin. This is where to begin. This very important book, which contains all of the major statements given by Srila Prabhupada regarding Varnashram-related subject matters. It's available in digital form. Zaidev is around. Zaidev is my secretary, sometimes here, sometimes not here. He has a digital card. He left it with you? Okay. Yeah, no problem. I think I might have explained this before, but this book is available here along with other digital books. So after this presentation, you can download this link. So that's one way to actually begin. We're also encouraging that since this book is available, easily available, devotees should actually, on a weekly basis, read and discuss together, because it's so important. After all, it does remain Srila Prabhupada's 50% of his unfulfilled mission. This is my humble request to all of you. Major changes may not happen overnight, but major changes may not even happen in our lifetime also. But we should know, we should try to understand what is the vision of our acharyas, especially of our founder acharya, and whatever we can to go in that direction, we should make that effort as much as possible. So I want to thank the devotees once again for having taken some of your precious time to come this evening for this get-together. And we hope to see you again in the not-too-distant future. Hare Krishna. Jai Sri Prabhupada Ki. Any question, quick question or comment, possibly? Is there a mic?
Hare Krishna. Sorry, I can little late. Maybe I have spoken about Cambodia. I was there a few times trying to assist the devotees. And
Can you repeat that?
in Cambodia,
Ah.
I was there a few times.
Oh.
So I like to know something more about what's happening now.
Okay. Some interesting development. Cambodia, we have some land in Cambodia. We have a small precinct center. Who has been to Cambodia? Who knows about Cambodia? Actually, I took the first, I made history, maybe 2 months ago. They were having the first direct flight from Calcutta to Siem Reap. I was on that flight. From Calcutta to Siem Reap is only 3 hours. So you're in Malaysia here. You're even closer. Yeah. And there are daily flights. So there are some interesting developments. There's two persons are very serious about wanting to actually build a temple in Phnom Penh, which is the capital. And we continue to have a project maybe 1 hour from Angkor Wat. Yeah, 1 hour. Now they have a new road. It takes less time. And we have two small projects in the country. One of them is like we have 100 acres of land. We call it Yashodapur Eco Village. Many years ago, the capital of Cambodia was called Yashodapur. And we have another smaller piece of land. It's about 1 acre. It is 1 acre, but it's touching the main road. And we call that, we've given a name recently when I was there. And the name is Angkor Krishna Loka. Welcome to. So we will be inviting all of you to come to Krishna Loka, where we plan to have a small, educational and cultural center, which is quite accessible. In the last few months, we've had devotees from Russia spending quite a few weeks and doing Harinam in their very unorthodox manner, and distributing thousands of books. Then after they went to Vietnam, it's like amazing. So please come. I hope to go there after maybe 1 month or so. Yeah. They still call Cambodia the Kingdom of Cambodia. There are not many kingdoms on the planet left, and that's one of them. And Cambodia is the only country that I know, the only country that has on its flag a temple, Angkor Wat. So it's like, when you have darshan of the Cambodia flag, you can actually worship the flag. Largest Vishnu temple in the world. And we hope to install what is called Preko Prekao. Preko Prekao means, to this day, when you go in the interior villages, they have a little boy, a young boy, sitting, and right beside him is a cow, and the little boy is playing the flute. It's part of their tradition, but they have given it some kind of, made up some kind of story, that there are two boys that were born to, I know it's whatever, but it's Krishna and his cows. So we hope to have that murti, because they can relate to it, it's part of their culture. Yeah. We invite all of you to both Cambodia and also Indonesia. We have our village. I was there for about 3 weeks recently. Gita Nagari Baru. That's on the island of Sumatra. And Malaysia, we're here in Penang. So Penang, you're very close. If you're a good swimmer, you can swim across. But better take the boat. But it's not so far, yeah. So our community there is we have a good number of families. About 45 families are there, 175 devotees. So they're very happy when guests come. Of course, we shouldn't have more than 100 people coming at the same time. But if small groups of devotees would like to come, they can just contact us. We'll be happy to facilitate your visiting Gita Magade Baru.
This is a short question. In Malaysia, you put a lot of emphasis on the ashrama, you know. And in other sannyasam, you put emphasis on public motivation, and some they put on communication and management.
Very confusing for the audience, eh?
This is a Maharaj, as a devotee, you know, we are feel inspired by, you know, all these lectures, Maharaj.
Yes.
So how do we know that how do we know that, you know, that which one should we actually put our heart and soul in terms of, you know, is it direction from the super soul, or is it a direction from, like, you know, oh, I'm fired up, I do, and then after some time you change again, which is actually not good. So
right.
how do we actually know that, okay, I think this is very, I should, so, I mean, you know.
Okay, fair enough question. Yeah. I didn't make that presentation here, but it's part of it's a very important aspect of, let's say, the whole aspect of Prabhupada's vision. Because Prabhupada actually laid out in 4 phases how the mission of Lord Chaitanya is meant to be introduced all over the world. Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, and Phase 4. And all of them are bona fide, obviously. And the idea is that one leads to the other. And the first one happens to be the chanting of the holy name and books. The second one happens to be establishing wonderful temples. The third one is congregational development. And the fourth one is varnashram. So I'm explaining that these are all part of the mission, and it's up to each individual, of course, according to his understanding, according to his maybe level of realization or inclination. There are different factors which will vary, of course, from one person to another. As Prabhupada would explain, you know, in Bhakti we have 9 activities, Ravanam Kirtanam, up until Atma Nivedanam. So we can do 3, we can do 4, we can do at least 1 we should do. And if we do even 1, then we can become liberated from this material world. So in a similar way, naturally I talk about what somehow I'm attracted to. I have devotees who are into book distribution. I encourage them. I don't say, hey, listen. I encourage devotees to distribute books. Some, you know, I have disciples who they just focus on that. It's wonderful. And so according to whatever inspires us, it's good you're asking this question actually, because it's important for all of us to find, we call it our niche, you know, our place, to find something that will be inspiring to us, whatever it may be. I mean, within Krishna consciousness, what is favorable devotional service, something, it's part of we have 2 missions in life. The 2 missions in life, number 1 is we have to work on ourselves individually to advance in Krishna consciousness. That is called Janma Sartak Kori. And then Para Upakar, second mission is to help in whatever capacity we can in the greater mission. We have our individual mission, individually, to progress self-realization, and then we have the greater mission of the Lord and of the Acharyas, and in this way, our whole life should keep us busy in these two missions. Yeah.
Mark, I mean, what's saying inclination, that actually means guna and karma, right? Person who born with guna and karma, they have certain inclination towards, you know, agriculture.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yes, that aspect is there, definitely. Yes. Yeah, thank you. Okay, and we will end our session this evening with our favorite song, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. I was wondering what that was, you know. No, up here. I thought some kind of monster was coming down.
Hare Krishna, we would like to thank His Holiness Bhakti Goswami Maharaj for his wonderful lecture today. So, Maharaj, I'm requesting you to distribute some sweets for the devotees.
Yes.
And Maharaj is a traveling preacher, so anybody would like to give some contributions for this Prabhupada's mission, I'd like to welcome devotees to do so. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai. Did you get this?